Right, looks like I'm recording. So welcome to Osaka International Airport, and it's an interesting one. I've got a few sceneries, I believe, for Osaka, so they're loaded there. We've got the somewhere over there should be the Imperial Palace. Yeah, there we go, it's in the background there, and we've got the city of Osaka, all from Flightsim.to. Now the reason I've got these is because Osaka has a very interesting runway approach to 3-2, I think it is. You come over the bay here, and it's a visual approach, curved approach, no ILS due to these mountains in the background. New freeware scenery from Flightsim.to, and it looks absolutely payware quality. I mean, apart from the no seats inside, that doesn't really matter too much. But I mean, look at the buildings, and the attention to detail is pretty awesome, actually. If you come to this area here, we've got some people milling about at the top on the viewing lounge. Every stand has a coordinate. There's VDGS simulated, it's not actually there, but if you've got GSX, I'm sure it'll come up. Now the next thing to do would probably be create a GSX profile for this, but the same authors also built some sceneries across Japan in the Tokyo district on the South Island, and they all look pretty amazing. I mean, look at this, you've even got orange features on the things there. So yeah, we're going to use this Osaka scenery, and I'm going to fly to the next scenery. It's only about 40 minutes flight, so not too long. Anyway, we should nearly be ready for pushback, so I'm just going to get... I think GSX is probably waiting for me to dismiss the GPU and all of that, so yeah, we need to start the APU and get the plane ready for pushback, really. So chocks need to go away. No, I still need the GPU. Come back, come back. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I hope this all reloads properly. Sometimes it'll turn off the whole plane and it won't reload. Light in it. Okay, and it's still there. Grand. Grand. Right, let's just get the APU online and we'll get the official start started. I'll use a little bit of Navigraph just to get us started on our flight today. So we've imported the flight from SimBrief, which is RJOO to RJOT TAC. So Osaka to Takamatsu. It's just across the bay here, Osaka Bay. Nothing too crazy. Looks like 3-2 left for departure, so I will program that shortly. 3-2 left, and we're going to be doing Tiger 2 to Boomer. And insert in, it's going to go there. I'm going to go across here. I'm going to get the mass and balance from this part here. APU is available, external power can go offline. We've got 59.5, 31.2, so 59.5 slash 31.2 going into my weight and my balance. Fuel planning, just click that through, and since the IRSs are sorted, that goes in confirm. That's set, that's set. Okay, just going to go into the sim settings quickly and make sure the aircraft's set up the way I like them, so that's fine. Nav and grow around and ESS I'm going to activate. Incremental thrust linked, and there we go, that's all fine. Ground services wise, we can now do away with the GPU as we're on APU power. I'm going to get the beacon light on, and the pushback car is unfortunately slightly submerged in the ground, but that should now be connecting nicely. So that was parked inside there. So there's a GSX profile needed to be created for this. But hopefully once that's done, it'll be a fantastic scenery, including GSX. Obviously GSX isn't the be all and end all. It's a fantastic scenery as is without GSX, considering it's freeware. I mean, look at it. I've been waiting for this airport for a while, actually. Oh, don't you IRS align me? MCU menu, config. No, MCU menu, main T, failures, clear. The IRSs are aligned, please, thank you very much. Okay, hide that away. So you see we're going to go across this way. I'm actually going to take probably here. I'm going to take direct to route. Arrival wise, we're looking at Popeye to Wimpy on runway 26. Let's select our approach. Probably ILS Zulu 26. Why not? Flight plan, arrival ILS Zulu 26. Popeye, and it's a Wimpy transition. That's already included, that's great. Okay, so continue pushback. We would like it to be, it's 3-2 left we need, so that's going to be over there. We're going to use a nose right, tail left, I think. Okay, they're racing gear. Okay, it's nose right, which means we're going to be turning to the left, which means our right engine's going to be outboard, so we're going to use engine 2 first. The reason we start engine 2 first is because our lovely man here is going to be walking on the inboard side, so the inside of the turn. So we want to start the outside engine first, facing into he's not trying to be sucked into the engine. And once we're stationary, we start up the inside engine. Meanwhile, let's get the performance set up. I'm just going to check we've got no messages. AOC, you probably do have the two load sheets. So we've got load sheet number 1. We've got below max, below max, below max, and acceptable. Return. This one here, revisions, that. Yeah, it's all within max. Flight plan. That's going to be flight plan. This page is going to get the performance data. Going into here, 3-2 left, we said. So it's going to be runway 3-2 left. Sync load sheet, sync live weather, calculate. Temperature is 14, I don't know why none of that's loading. Please set parking brake. Okay, engine start is good.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Okay, flaps 2, 141, 141, 144. So there we go, 141. V1, rotate 141. Yeah, and then 144. I don't know why it's not synchronizing live weather, that's a little bit annoying. 2 down 03 and 68 flex. So 68 degrees flex, 2/DN.3. Enter. Okay, we're going to use performance page on the left and monitor flight plan on the right. Check the flight plan for any discontinuities. Looks good so far. Stow truck's disconnected, so I'm going to turn on the taxi lights and the strobes can go to auto. Got a good start on the left side. Master switch off, APU bleed off. So that sounds fully on. Dome lights going off. Looking for him on the left with the pin. And they always stand right behind this pillar, which I find incredibly annoying. Okay. There's the wave. Come on, wave. Okay, there's the wave. Means we can go, and he's going to have disappeared. He doesn't walk off or anything, he just disappears, which I find a little bit annoying, but that is the way. Laps 2, auto brake max, spoilers armed, ignition to normal. That's going to go on, that's going to go on. I'm going to just quickly pre-fly on Flightsim. There's nobody online on Flightsim, so I will just connect up. Okay, fetch the flight plan. And I'm online. Okey-dokey. Did check there's no controller connected, so nobody's going to yell at me. And I'll turn right around here. Go straight. So it looks a little bit crazy there. What does the old chart say? 3-2 right, stop. So that's okay, there's the threshold. Keep going, nobody's on final. It's kind of like a left-right snake. So it's just not drawn properly. Now apparently, in real life in Osaka, they are using this 2 for departures. And that's been built into the scenery, so AI traffic will not use the first waypoint at the end of the runway for departures. It's due to noise abatement. Basically they're starting over here. So I'm actually going to check that that's in here. Full length, yeah, we can't do anything about that. Takeoff config test. Takeoff config's normal. Down 03. Okay, predicted wrenches going on. GCS on, system 1, multi-scans to auto. Left up, and right up. Pitch up. Pitch down. Right rudder. Left rudder. And straight. Okay. We're going to use this section for departure. Flaps 2 set, and let's get the takeoff time in approximately 1 minute. Strobes on, landing lights on. Packs both off. Says after departure, left turn immediately to Delta 201. Okay, no one on final. Osaka traffic, they're on Freeware Romeo takeoff 32 left. Frame's also amazing, it's only about 16 megabytes, the scenery, or 150 megabytes, something like that. It's only matching megabytes, it's not gigabytes, but look at it. I mean, this is all of the default textures, but the buildings and the aprons are great. Okay, 50% M1, look for stabilised EGTs and into rising. Okay, fuel flow, stable EGTs, both engines reading the same. Flex. SRS, runway, climate nav is armed. Speed building, 80 knots. Engine's okay. Rotated a little bit earlier there. Okay, positive climb, Europe. There's a left turn departure. So the approach is basically this in reverse. Say circling for runway 32 left. So right, I'll have to come in over this highway here. Okay, autopilot on. Gear would go off if we were the A310 right now, and we'll do packs 1 and 2 back on. Lever to climb. Flaps to 1. And we should shortly be in the cloud layer. Looks like quite a thin layer. Yes, the city of Osaka, we've got a few buildings that look a little bit odd. The shading on those isn't exactly as it should be, but to be fair, it's a lot better than default Osaka. Okay, flaps are S, so we can take flaps up. Spoilers can go to standard. We're climbing 12,000 feet today. go, entering the cloud layer now. Okay, like I said, we're going to do direct to final fix. So Boomer is the next one. Just check Boomer. I think Brute would be a good fix to go to, so let's go direct to Brute. Go, and we're going to hopefully climb above this cloud layer in a second. I expect similar weather on arrival, so we'll see how long this takes. So it's going to take us about 40-50 miles till we're on our approach. It's RLS, so I'm already on the LS system. Okay, there we go, breaking through the cloud layer now, so it's about 3,000 feet thick. Making a bit of an overcast layer underneath. There's Osaka. That's the amazing thing about flying above clouds, is there's no idea what's underneath. So don't do it if you don't know how, basically, or are qualified if it's real life. It's very scary, getting disoriented in cloud and the next thing you know, popping out 500 AGL with your nose pointing directly at the ground. Happened to me in a simulator before. Not fun. I'm going to leave it in a bit of autopilot cruise, just going to turn off the seatbelt sign quickly. Landing light, runway turn off, so all can go off. There we go. Right, let's have a look at where we are. Okay, it wants destination data. There's the top of descent just 10 miles ahead, so I'm actually going to start that descent now to 4,000 feet. Performance, next phase. Let's get the arrivals data. The islands of Japan, scenery is fantastic. Okay, arrival, META. We've got 160 at 4, 1023 and 13. So 13 degrees Celsius. 160 at 4. It's variable to the direction of the runway roughly, so it's still going to be a massive crosswind. Or 4 knots will be okay. Wind may well be calm on arrival. 1023. And probably quite important today looking at the weather. Might have some minimums, so let's have a look at what the minimums are going to be. So that's runway 26. It's a straight in approach. We're going to come in over the highway, and there's a part of the scenery that's quite cool that he's built in, which is the runway lead-in lights are built on a massive gantry over the highway. It's very high up and it's quite impressive. The runway itself is at a higher elevation than this highway, so we're going to notice a sort of drop down onto the runway. Okay, localizer 26, here we go. Climb to 1000 if we missed approach, heading 261, then at climbing right turn via Kilo Tango Echo Kaigawa VOR, hold at 5000, contact Kansai approach. Kansai approach 1212, Takamatsu Tower 1183. There's our speeds, so 3 degrees, we're going to be over 740, 750, 1000 feet, and heading 271, then 5000 at right turn. Decision height is 786. Decision altitude even, so we'll put that there, 786. Barrow. And if the GS is out, it would be 920, so that's okay, no problem. Let's just continue along as if everything's fine. Nearly intercepting the profile there, just descending into the cloud now. Landing lights going on, seatbelt signs on. The taxi and runway turn-off lights on as well, even though they're currently up with the gear. It just saves us the bother when we lower the gear down. So I don't actually know where this airport is. I've never flown here before, so this is all very nice and new to me. I imagine it's somewhere over this hill. Maybe it's there. I don't know. Can't seem to figure it out. Well, it's nearly straight ahead. Yeah, it's like 12 o'clock position. So it might be that there. Could be anywhere really. But we will see when we get there. It's the excitement about flying to new places you've never been before. And always do it once in the simulator, and then I go and do it in real life. Because once you've done it once in the simulator, you get actually a surprisingly fantastic idea of where the place is. So when I flew to Verona a few weeks ago, I flew first to Bosco Mantico on the old simulator, and when I then flew there in real life, everything made a lot more sense. So for example, I knew that I had to follow the river, and I noticed that there was a river by the airport. So then I kind of made the conclusion, I'm going to follow the river, which I probably might not have made unless I'd figured out that that was the thing, that the airport was next to the river, the Adige River from the South Tyrol. So quite cool way of preparing for flights actually. I run through them in the simulator once to get an idea of where everything is, where the approach is, landmarks, big things on the ground that I can see, so for example motorway junctions and all of that, rivers, general scenery that's worth keeping an eye on. And then once I've found that out, go and do it in real life. Really cool, especially with Navigraph charts. You've basically got the same information that you'd have in real life nearly. And if you do have SkyDemon or something like that, you can literally just go and use the same information. It makes no difference. So LS is already engaged. Engaged, I say engaged, I mean it's switched on, so we can see the landing system. We have got IAKT identified 22 miles out, so that's okay. That means we've got our ILS system is up and running. go. Coming below 7,000, we've got 1,300 per minute, so it's not very steep descent, but that's absolutely fine with me. Localizer just popped up, so 15 miles the glide path will come up to. Let's get the local QNH, it's 1023 it's saying, let's just recheck that here. 1604, 1023, 1310, so I'm going to use 1023 even though it's not correct for this exact location. It is correct for the airport, which is now coming into sight. There's the lead-in lights. We don't need the lead-in lights, so it's annoying that they're already on, but that is the nature of Flight Simulator. All of the airport lights are on all of the time. A little bit of everything all of the time, sort of thing. Anyway, so you can see we've got some terrain off to the left-hand side, so any missed approach is going to be to the right, just due to that high altitude stuff going on. There we go, turning on to final, we're slightly above glide path. Localizer arming. And the terrain is quite a factor on the left actually. Definitely going to be descending below that during our final approach. Descending on path, and I'm going to arm approach. There's localizer and GS. It's the runway ahead in sight, set 5,000 feet, that's our missed approach altitude. We can see why. Okay, going to set flaps 1. Quite blustery by the looks of it, looks a bit turbulent on final. That may be also this wind here. Wind is coming slightly from the right hand side now, roughly in line with the runway, so I'm happy with that. Looks like there is no alternative approach, so it doesn't look like you can actually, you could do an approach over the other side, it would be visual. There would be no instrument procedure because of that hill behind the runway. Got 10 miles to go, set flaps 1, just bringing the speed slowly down. Speed breakers armed, auto brakes to medium. Runway length is so runway elevation 586, airport elevation 607, so that's probably a sloped runway. Chart please. Thank you. Loading. 7.5 miles, gear down. It is 2,500 metres long, so longer than Innsbruck by 500 metres, so I'm actually going to use auto brake low. That's absolutely fine. Usually we'll use medium, medium's always better. Low's nice, it makes a nicer cram roll. Okay, flaps 2 can go in now. And stands on the right hand side there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Speed's below 180, so could you speed check flaps 3? Going in. This is a lovely approach. Look at this terrain. I'm using Google Maps replacement mod, but it's actually Bing Maps that I prefer to use as it fits better with a lot of the sceneries that are produced. Most sceneries are made with Bing Maps in mind, so using Bing's colour helps. It just updates the Bing Maps from 2004 to present day, so there's no massive discrepancies in the data that's being shown. 4 miles, flaps full, and let's just hope the speed comes down in time. A few skyscrapers in the region. There we go, there's a city over there. So probably going for the airport just outside the city. I'm going to do manual flying now just to kind of help this sort itself out. I forgot to do something. Controls need to be on. I was wondering why it's a very slow rotation. Fenix A320, apply and save and exit. There we go, that should make it a lot more twitchy. going to get some major gusts as we come over this terrain. As you can see, there's some valleys here which will capture the wind quite nicely and cause up and down drafts as we come over, so I'm just going to be very wary of that. See, there's an updraft now. We need to go down again because we've overcorrected for the updraft. And then we're going to overcorrect for the updraft and point the nose down, and then it's going to be a downdraft. We're going to have to point the nose very quickly back up. Okay, there we go. There's our downdraft. So nose up, back down, overcorrecting. Here's our interesting lead-in light, which is pretty cool. It's actually very tall in real life. It's not very tall when you're approaching over the top of it. I keep that 700 feet per minute now. Slightly fighting the gusts. Runway's happily in sight.
100 above.
Yeah, happy with this approach now. Keep it about 700 feet per minute.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100, 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Touchdown. Reverse green. Explicating to the right. Text on 7, please, GSX. Braking just to get us around this corner here, 30 knots, 28 knots and around. Okay, strobes off AP1. GSX, gate or parking? We'll take gate 3. We'll ask for a follow me. We'll hope that this works. Let's see. We'll go over a nice area over there. Area here. Temperature is 12 degrees Celsius and a little bit of wind and clouds as we can see. Here comes that follow me car. Let's see what he does. Okay, oh, he's turned around already. That is excellent for once. Rather than driving underneath me. Congratulations, GSX. Let's hope that this works well. Okay, we're in range. Follow me's lit up, so we're going to do exactly what he tells us and just follow him along. Let's get some power on the engines just to get us into the game. Should be 2 or 3 down, there's 7, there's 6, I think we said 5. Turn off the lights, don't blind the marshaller. Looks like it's going to be a marshaller. This is the same chap who made this scenery, made the scenery for Osaka, and as you can see, look at it, it's just pretty good. What a wonderful scenery. Slow down and stop. Parking brake set. What does that mean? Too far? Cut engines. Okay, engines off, beacon off, and seatbelt sign off, strobe off. Lamp lights stay on. Okay, let's request deboarding. I think GSX menu, oh, there we go.
The boarding requested.
If this starts going back in the wrong direction, we'll know what's happened. They fit perfectly. Okay, comes our baggage loader. The landing rate there was not too bad, I think. 88 feet per minute, 0.98 Gs. Lovely.
Passengers deboarding starting.
The airport's in probably the least ideal location. The city is on a nice flat plain where you could easily have fit an airport, but the airport's on a hilly area where just before the mountains. But it's a lovely airport. Now, there's a nice thing about Japan, which you might have noticed when we departed in Osaka, is the middle of the runway is marked. And it's marked here too. That's the middle of the runway, so this way you know, okay, I've used up half of the runway, which I think is a pretty clever thing to do actually, because one of the big things we look at, especially when we're landing in airports which don't have marked touchdown zones, is basically I want to be on the ground before half of the runway is over if it's a certain length. Now the only issue I've got here is I'm using Bing World data, so my Takamatsu sign is already there, and he's basically overlaid it onto the old data. So let's see how that compares when I switch over to Google Maps. So that's now Google Maps data. That should start slowly loading in there, and we'll just see if it's vastly different. And it's basically going to guarantee that there is at least a sign saying Takamatsu rather than saying nothing at all. So it fits perfectly over Google Maps, as you can see there. That's very nicely lined up. Indeed. And Google Maps looks like it's higher definition, so maybe I'll use Google Maps in the future. Anyway, welcome to Takamatsu. Again, the same scenery, very good quality as you can see here. We've got a lovely yellowness to the jetways. We've got some passengers in the viewing areas walking around a little bit. Radar towers, car parks. I think he's even parked his car in the airport, either at Takamatsu or Osaka. One of the cars is actually his, that he's modelled basically, which I think is quite cool. It's a nice signature. And the other thing that is amazing, he just does this for the fun of it and for everyone's pleasure, because he says, I refuse to post a PayPal link. This is not for money, I'm doing this for, you know, enjoyment. And wow, I mean, look at this. This is payware quality actually in some places, definitely. I've seen worse payware, that's for sure. Very impressed.